To another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And in this episode, we're going to take a look at Monsoon, the clothes retailer, and their policy of gender-neutral changing rooms. Is this the right thing to do? Is it the wrong thing to do? What do you think about it? Well, the policy has been announced because one single person complained. A man complained, and so without any investigation, without any consideration for how females may care about this, they said, oh no, all our changing spaces now are open to men. That's what they've said. So let's have a look at this article and go in and discuss it. So I will begin by saying that Monsoon is a retailer of ladies' clothing. They cater for ladies or women, young girls, that sort of thing, that range. Men have no reason to go in there to purchase anything. Unless they've been told to by their wife or something, I don't know. But it is therefore not expected that there will be men in the changing room. And so any woman who has picked up a garment off a rail or something and wants to go and try it on in the changing rooms should be able to walk in the full knowledge that the only people in those changing rooms will be women. And if someone accidentally opens a curtain to see if the cubicle's free or something, it'll be another woman. It'll be a simple, oh, excuse me, shut the curtain, move on to the next one, whatever. What you don't expect is someone to accidentally, or even accidentally on purpose, open the curtain to have a good ogle at you because that person is a man. And yet that's now Monsoon's policy. So Monsoon do not care about female customers. They don't care about their ladies. They don't care about women at all. And they're quite happy to open up women and children to risk. But we'll go in and have a look now. So here's the headline. Monsoon's female changing rooms are open to both sexes. Fashion store apologises and offers to welcome male-born non-binary teen, 18, or as we like to call, a man, who complained about being blocked from women's fitting room to try on dress. Quite right. A man should not be in a ladies' changing room because that's a danger to women. Charlie Moore, 18, who uses they-them pronouns, was shopping in Birmingham. He uses they-them because he hasn't got access, presumably, to a psychiatrist. Because the only people who are called they are people with multiple personalities. If he's using they-them, then he has a mental condition. While in fitting rooms, he was told males aren't allowed to try our clothes on. Well, that's because men shouldn't be in changing rooms trying ladies' clothes on with other ladies present. The A-level student was then told to leave the female changing room altogether. Monsoon apologised and said changing rooms are available to all customers. Presumably, Monsoon are virtue signalling morons who do not care for the safety of women and children. And they're fairly spineless. They opened investigation and offered to help Charlie find a dress free of charge. Didn't offer the women who might have been traumatised by a man in the changing rooms to have a dress free of charge. No, because they don't care about women. Women can sod off, don't care. But we do care about the 0.01% of trans. Meanwhile, 99.99% of their women customers leave the store, vow never to return because they don't like the increased risk of rape or sexual molestation for either themselves or their children. Non-binary genders are not currently recognised in UK law, and the Gender Recognition Act makes no provision for the recognition of any other gender, because the law only respects sexes. Anyway, the article. Monsoon says its female changing rooms are open to both sexes after a teenager who identifies as non-binary was left humiliated when they were blocked from the women's fitting room for trying on a prom dress. Yeah, because men shouldn't be in female-only spaces. And if he was humiliated by being a man in a female-only space, he's got to look at himself and say, why as a man am I in the female space? Charlie Moore, who uses they them pronouns because of his mental condition, has been shopping for an outfit with a friend at the retailer's Grand Central store in Birmingham on Monday afternoon. The student said that following complaints from women with children, a member of the staff told them that males are not allowed to try our clothes on before telling him to leave the female changing rooms. So this wasn't the store person, the salesperson saying, oh, there's a man in there, let's get him out. Women with children had complained there was a man in the changing rooms. Let's be honest about this, and let's get this open. Women who are getting undressed and children did not want a man in their changing room. Monsoon later apologised, saying its changing rooms are open and available to all customers. So Monsoon have now said that women have complained, women with children have complained about a man being there, but Monsoon says, thanks for your complaint, but we don't care about you, women. We only care about the trans. That's now Monsoon's official line. They've said it themselves. They don't care about women. They don't care about the safety of women. They only care about their trans customers. I don't think Monsoon is going to make a lot of money if it's relying on trans people to buy clothes there. Because if this is what they're saying, that they're quite happy for men who could represent a risk to women and children are allowed into their changing rooms, a lot of women will stop going into their store. A Monsoon spokesman today told Mail Online it aimed to accommodate the needs and wishes of all our customers. Wrong. No, let's get this straight. It doesn't want to accommodate the needs and wishes of all its customers. It wants to accommodate the needs and wishes of its trans customers. Because if it was accommodating the needs and wishes of its 99.99% of its customers, the women, it would say, actually, our customers don't want men in the changing rooms, and we are therefore not allowing men in the changing rooms. But they haven't said that. So they don't care about women. The incident comes after the Equality and Human Rights Commission said it is perfectly legal for public bodies and businesses to limit services to a single sex. That's right. Anyone who runs a business or is in any kind of authority in any establishment, doesn't matter. Public bodies, private bodies, doesn't matter. They can say men are not allowed into women-only spaces. And that's it. According to the EHRC guidance, Monsoon were within their rights to remove Charlie from the changing room following complaints from women with children, but only as long as gender-neutral changing rooms were also provided for trans or non-binary people. Let me stop there and say that's a lie. The first part is correct. The EHRC guidance does say that Monsoon are within their rights to remove Charlie from the changing room following complaints from women with children. But they are under no obligation to provide a gender-neutral changing room. They're not. And it's as simple as that. If they are a store that deals with selling to women, it is assumed in law that a safe space for women can be set up as a changing room. They do not need to create a male changing room because their business is not for selling clothes to men. So that is a lie about having to set up a gender neutral changing room. No, you don't. So the other thing, of course, is being a private business. They can have the right to refuse to serve anybody. So actually they could just say, could you please leave the shop? We're not serving you. And that's it. They don't have to give a reason. Non-binary genders, which the government defines as someone who identifies in some way outside of the man-woman gender binary, are currently not recognised in UK law because they don't exist. Because you are either male or female. You can call yourself whatever you like, but you are male or female. And that's it. There are no non-binaries. There are no gender neutrals. There is only male and female. If you can't handle that, then you need to see a psychiatrist pretty damn pronto, really. The Gender Recognition Act enables a person to change the sex recorded on their birth certificate, either from male to female or vice versa, but makes no provision for the recognition of any other gender, because there aren't any. And also, changing what you call yourself doesn't change who you are. You can, if you're a man, and you call yourself a woman, that's fine. You can call yourself a woman, but you're still a man. And when you hit your mid-40s, like every other man, you're going to bend over and you're going to have your prostate examined. Because you're a man in a frock. Charlie said he was shopping with his friend, who does not identify as female, but presents in a more feminine way. I don't even understand what that means. Is his friend a male or a female? Because we don't care what you identify as or what you present as, only what you are. Charlie said, we picked up some dresses and went into the changing rooms in the individual cubicles. And there's only one area and it's not labelled. Well, it doesn't need to be labelled. It's a ladies' clothes shop. It's for ladies. It's for women. It's for females. You have a cock and balls. Therefore you shouldn't be in there with children. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Why so many of these people want to be able to get undressed in front of women and children. People like this need to have their hard drives examined and their browsing history checked. And then should never be allowed around women and children. Ever. It's a funny thing that they want this so badly, isn't it? We each went into a cubicle, and then as I was putting it on, this voice, which turned out to be a staff member from outside, said, "Excuse me, males aren't allowed to try our clothes on, because it's a female clothing shop, and you're a man. And no female wants to try on a dress after your cock and balls have been rubbed over it." I was set back by that, but not wanting to grossly embarrass myself. Too late, haha, have you seen yourself? Or draw attention. Too late, haha, have you seen yourself? I complied. She said, "Oh, how do you know it was a she?" Your rules. "Can you wait outside for your friend?" I waited on a bench outside the cubicle. Charlie, who was studying A-levels at sixth form in Birmingham, said about 5 minutes later the same staff member told him to move out of the changing room altogether, but his friend was allowed to try on the dresses without any issues, he added. Charlie said the incident left him feeling like I wasn't welcome or wanted. That's because you weren't welcome and you weren't wanted. The women in there with their children who were getting undressed didn't want you there because you're a man. They didn't want you there because they had their children with them. They don't want a man anywhere near them or their children. So you weren't welcome and you weren't wanted. And if you felt that, good, take the hint and leave. He added, it would be daft to assume it doesn't take a person any amount of courage to walk into a shop like that and try on a dress. Now, I don't know what this means. If they're typically male aligning. Do you mean if they're a man? I'm not male. I'm not typically male aligning. I'm a man. I'm not a natal male. I'm a man. My wife isn't typically female aligning. She's a woman. And she isn't natal female. She's a woman. The trouble is, people like this, these sick people who need psychiatric help, like really emergency psychiatric help, they can't even say man, woman, male, female, because it sickens them. Their sickness, their mental issues, they can't acknowledge that men and women exist because they know they're male, they know they're a man, but they so want to be a woman, but they also know that whatever they do, they will never, ever be a woman. They'll never be a woman. Not while women exist. And so for them to become a woman, the very definition of woman has to change. Women need to be cancelled. Women need to not exist anymore. Women need to be redefined so that definition includes them. So that way they can become women. But like I say, still got a prostate. Never going to be a woman. Ever. So it's not a physical problem, it's a mental problem. Anyway, to continue, he continued, so to be told you're not welcome here, that's a lot of built up courage that is immediately knocked down. It's not courage, it's stupidity. If you don't think that someone is going to have a word with you when you walk in as a man into a female changing room, then you're an idiot. So it isn't courage, it's just dim stupidity. It feels very hurtful and wrong, and it needs to be open about whether it was a member of staff or its company policy. It is hurtful and wrong But it's hurtful and wrong for the women to have to put up with a man. But you don't consider that, do you? You only look at the me side of it and not the them side of it. You don't, for 1 second, consider what the women in there will feel like. Maybe there was a woman who was threatened. Maybe she's in an abusive relationship. Maybe she has previously been attacked by a man. Do you think that she's comfortable having a man in there with her when she's undressed? You ignorant, horrible little toad. You don't care about women, and yet you struggle manfully to be one. I'm non-gender. I'm non-gender. Look at me. I'm special. You're not special. You're selfish. You're greedy. You're ignorant. And you're mentally unstable. And I think certainly you should not be anywhere near women and children. The teenager later shared part of his experience to Twitter, politely asking whether the incident had happened as part of store policy. Monsoon replied, and a very craven reply, "Hi Charlie, we're sorry to hear of the experience you had in one of our stores. Our fitting rooms are open and available to all our customers, and we have opened an investigation into this incident because we are spineless and we don't care about women. And we feel that if a woman is feeling threatened in our stores, that's fine. If a woman is physically abused in our stores, that's fine. If a child is touched sexually in our stores, that's fine. We only care about what the trans lobby thinks of us." Seriously, women, you need to consider not shopping at Monsoon. They don't care about you. They only care about the trans and, the genders, the weird ones. They think it's perfectly acceptable for men to walk into changing rooms where you may have your child. And he could get completely naked as he's changing into his clothes in front of you and your child. That's Monsoon's policy. In a follow-up, Monsoon added, "If you would be comfortable to do so, we would like to welcome you back to our store. We would be happy to help you find your perfect prom dress, and it's on us." So they're giving the man who breaks into and disturbs women a free dress, but they're not doing anything for the women who might have been traumatised by having a man in their changing room. This is Monsoon policy. Aren't they great? Aren't Monsoon just super people? Not. Everyone deserves to feel magical for prom, except girls, women. They can't. They're not to feel magical at all. They're to feel threatened and put upon and have the potential of rape constantly on their mind in our stores. A Monsoon spokesman told Mail Online the member of staff at Birmingham store had not done anything wrong. They hadn't. They were protecting women. They were doing their job, protecting their customers. In a statement, the spokesman added, "Monsoon is committed to diversity and inclusivity, and we want as many people as possible to enjoy our clothes and designs, except women. Don't want women in our stores anymore, because we want to alienate women. We don't want women. We only want trans. Our business will die because there's not enough people, but only trans in our stores. Only want trans and gays. Only want trans and gays and non-genders. We don't want the vast majority of our customers ever to walk in our stores again, and that's our policy, because we want them to feel threatened. We want them to be potentially raped or abused. We want their children to be put in danger's way. At the same time, we want to ensure all our customers feel relaxed and comfortable, except women, when visiting our stores and trying out our outfits. The majority of our stores are small with limited changing facilities, and as such, we endeavour to work with all our customers, considering each of their individual requirements with the aim of accommodating their needs and wishes, except for the needs and wishes of women who don't want men in the changing rooms. But they don't care about that. They only need to care about the needs and wishes of the weird ones, the minority, the non-binaries, the trans, things like that. Charlie said the incident left him and his friend feeling hurt, unwelcome and embarrassed. Good. Maybe you won't try it again. Stop going into ladies' safe spaces. The sixth former, who realised their mind and body didn't align in primary school, so he admits that it is a mental problem, because the body's fine, it's the mind that doesn't align. It's a mental issue. See a psychiatrist. Is currently raising £1,200 for gender affirmation hormone therapy via GoFundMe. Too late. You've already gone through puberty. Your balls have dropped and your cock's out. You can have them whipped off, but your body is a man's body. Doesn't matter what drugs you take, what hormones you take, you're still a man, and will be till the day you die. The EHRC said its guidance will help service providers to make lawful decisions about any services they offer to women and men separately. It advises organisations such as hospitals, retailers, hospitality and sports clubs to put in place policies that are both legal and balance the needs of different groups. Here's the thing, and it's absolutely fine. You can say no men in the female safe spaces, and we're doing this because we have women who feel threatened and who are vulnerable and do not wish males or men to be in the women's safe spaces or changing rooms or such like that. So we're adopting this policy that no male can be there for any reason, regardless of how he identifies. If he's male, he may not stay in a female-only space. And that's it. And whether you're a trans man, post-op, boob, implants, the lot, it doesn't matter. You're still a man. You've still got a prostate. You've still got manly build, manly hands, and Adam's apple. You're a man. And you're still man enough that you will traumatise some women. So you stay the hell out. And you don't have to have, and these places don't have to provide, should I say, gender neutral areas. The law doesn't recognise it anyway. So that's that. I'll come up because I could get angry and go on about this, but I'm going to come up and we'll round this part of it off. Monsoon are monsters. They might as well just change the name to monsters. They hate women. They want to cancel women. They want to threaten them, put them in a dangerous position. They don't care about women. And all because of one sad little individual. One. A single one. Any dirty old man who wants to cop a feel just walks into Monsoon. It's there. There's nothing the staff can do to stop them now, because the company policy is, if you're a man, just wander into the ladies' changing rooms, have a look. If you're lucky, you might get a kid. That's their policy now. Women, you need to not shop at Monsoon. You need to question them why they think this is acceptable. And like I say, it's all because one sad, pathetic child, well, technically a man, he's 18, but childlike man, with inability to comprehend reality, with a very deep-seated mental problem, complained. And so they've just thrown women under the bus because this individual complained. And he describes himself as a pansexual young liberal. Can only imagine the panic that must have ensued at Monsoon HQ. Oh my God! Pansexual and liberal! And what did they do? They grovelled, fawned, kowtowed. The cringe is strong with this one. But, ladies, vote with your feet. Don't use Monsoon. Let the trans lobby, let the trans groups use Monsoon. You take your money and go where you're welcome, where they respect you, where they don't want to harm you. Anyway, I'm done now. If you like what you're seeing here on this channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring the bell for notifications of future output. Leave a like. Leave a comment. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, don't shop at Monsoon, and goodbye.